Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying with Jim Misiura. Today we're going to tie a budding pheasant tail. The hook I have in the vise is a 2X size 14. I have a 2.5mm silver bead on here. You don't have to use a silver, you can use a copper. You can use really whatever color you'd like. I like the silvers on a prince, and this is basically going to be a pheasant tail prince, but we're calling it a budding pheasant tail. We're going to start our thread right at the top. I break that off quickly, and now I'm going to put the rib in, and I'm going to use the extra fine copper wire. Actually putting that copper wire right inside that bead, and I'm pulling the wire off to the far side. Doesn't really matter if it's on the far side or the close side, but I'm going to counter wrap this, so I want to start from the far side. And this is bouncing around in my way. There we go. Now we're going to take our pheasant tail, and the pheasant tail center is better material. And we're going to take about 8 or 10. And we're going to tie these in. We want that tail to end up about half the length of the hook shank. Half to 3/4, I guess. And that's going to be too long, so I'm just going to pull that. That looks about right. Fold back on it. And then bring our thread all the way to the top. I'm going to put my hackle pliers on this pheasant tail. I'm going to start out by giving it one or two wraps clockwise. Then as we wrap, you're going to, every wrap you make, you're going to put a turn in it. You don't have to think about it, it just happens. And we're going to bring this right up to the bead, since we have so much. Bring that right up close. We're going to tie that off there. And we're going to trim away that excess. Now I'm going to bring my thread back to the front side of the abdomen, which is going to be about 1/3 down the hook. Now for our thorax, I'm going to use a pair of Peacock Herl. We're going to tie them in. And we're going to wrap them. And bring them right up to that bead too. We're pretty close to it. Put a couple of wraps in front of it, and then we can remove that excess. Take the poke and snip and remove them. Now we're going to take our fine copper wire. So I'm going to put a wrap underneath the tail first. And we are counter wrapping this. And we're going to go right through the Peacock Herl. And that will give the Peacock Herl, secure that Peacock Herl from unraveling. Extra fine wire, just go ahead and break it off. Now you can see I'm a little bit farther back from the bead. Now we're going to put our hackle in. And the hackle, you want a ginger hackle. I have a furnace hackle here. It's more for the size. And this is actually a dry fly quality hackle. We're going to give this probably 2 wraps. Now that first wrap didn't count because I gave it the haircut. Once, twice. I'm going to go ahead and tie this in. Put a few wraps in front. Kind of hold everything back there a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and snip off that poke and snip that hackle off. I think I got 1 or 2 sticking out forward. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm going to take the white Goose Biot. We're going to take a pair of those off. We're going to tie them in with that natural arch. We want that down. I'm going to tie my side on first, or tie the first one on. The tip that's going to show is on the far side, and the butt section is on my side of the bead. Take the second one, and we're going to make an X with it. And we have an X. We're going to lift up the butt sections. And put a few securing wraps right in front of it. Take those butt sections and push them back up forward. And then we can trim those off. Now you can finish the head off with thread, but I like to finish the head with a little bit of my Black Rabbit Krystal dub. Before I do that, I'm going to put some head cement on there. I'm just going to take a small amount of the Krystal dub, make a nice skinny noodle. Take my whip finish before I finish the dubbing. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and pull that tight. Snip that off. We already have some head cement on there. And here we have a budding pheasant tail. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. If you'd like to purchase any of my flies, go to etsy.com/shop/flymanjim. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.